Pacific Coast, San Diego, California, always a great destination locale, but particularly appreciated by the old Blues of Cal and the Texas Longhorns, who return to the postseason after a one-year hiatus. Mack Brown leads the Horns to their 50th bowl game in program history, but tonight, Texas will be guided by a quarterback playing in his first bowl game as David Ash, the freshman, gets the start. Zach Maynard, Cal's quarterback, has been a big reason for the Bears' resurgence in the late part of the season. Texas and Cal getting ready to stick their face in the fan and do some business in the Bridgepoint Education Holiday Bowl, Snapdragon Stadium in San Diego. Tonight, the Pac-12 against the Big 12. Texas returning to the postseason. 13th time in 14 years under Mack Brown, and Cal making its 21st bowl appearance. Both of these teams 7-5 overall, 4-5 in their respective conferences, while the Bears come in having won 3 of their last 4. Texas lost 3 of its last 4 games. Glad to have you with us tonight, Reese Davis, alongside Jesse Palmer. And Jesse, one of the reasons for Texas losing 5 games this year, and that's never acceptable by Longhorn standards, inconsistent play at the quarterback position. Tonight, they'll hand the reins to David Ash and hope that he can seize control of the jump.
And David Ash is getting the start tonight because he's performed better at the quarterback position during bowl practices. And the 6'3", 222-pound true freshman really provides an added dimension to this Texas offense with his ability to run the football. He's big, he's physical, he's athletic. We can expect him to run it at least 15 times tonight against Cal, but he won't be alone because this offense has been snake-bitten by injuries over the last 4 games of the regular season, but true freshman running backs Malcolm Brown and Joe Bergeron expected to play tonight. That is huge for Texas. Expect them to be much more multiple. They're going to be able to run the football a lot of different ways. Going to put a lot of stress on that Cal defense.
They have struggled to throw the ball consistently. We'll see if Cal is able to take that away from them once again tonight. Cal, meanwhile, as I mentioned, finished strong. And tonight, Zach Maynard can become just the 3rd Golden Bear quarterback ever to throw for 3,000 yards in a season. Jesse, he looks like a completely different guy from the quarterback you and I saw earlier this year.
Zach Maynard has been the difference for Cal over the last 4 games of the regular season. He's done such a better job with his game management, not turning the football over. It appears to me like the game has really slowed down for him. Done a great job with his reads, with his progressions. He understands where his answers are now when defenses want to pressure him, and the coaching staff has done an outstanding job finding concepts within the offense that Zach Maynard feels comfortable with. So we've seen more play action. They've moved the pocket. He's throwing the football on the run. Tremendous challenge for Texas's defense tonight. Try and stop the run, make Cal one-dimensional, see if they can bottle up Zach Maynard.
And Mack Brown trying to go 8-5. He joins our Jen Brown.
Thanks, Reese. Coach, quarterback David Ash is getting the start under center tonight. What kind of things did you see from him in bowl practice to name him your starter?
Well, we want to run some option tonight, Jen, and he's about 225 pounds. He's relaxed much more since his start against Kansas State, where he had a rough start. Case has done a great job coming in for us, so we feel like that both have done a good job at times this year. Neither one of them are ready to just take it over, so we're going to let David start it tonight, but I'm sure we'll see Case at some point.
Okay, well, quarterback Zach Maynard for Cal. He's really turned things around for this team down the stretch. What kind of problems does he present your team tonight?
He can make plays with his hands and his feet. He's got the great arm, so he's completed 5 touchdowns, only had 1 interception the last 4 games when they've won 3 of the 4, but he can move. They'll move him a lot in play to action, so we've got to contain up the field with our ends and put pressure up inside with our tackles.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Jen.
Reese?
All right, Jen, Cal won the toss. They deferred to the second half. Jed Tedford, he is Cal's all-time winningest coach. He goes for his 80th victory tonight. Tedford, 79 victories, has the boss in Berkeley. Heard Mack and Jen mention winning 3 of their last 4 to become bowl eligible. Giorgio Tavecchio will kick it off for the Bears. He's kicked it into the end zone for a touchback 14 times this year. DJ Monroe and Quandre Diggs will be deep to return. Texas had a very dangerous return game early in the year, but that was before the injury to Fozzie Whitaker. It is Quandre Diggs on the return. Diggs gets across the 25-yard line. Quentin Jammers, little brother, taking it back 23 yards. And that is where the Longhorns will put into play after the return just across the 25-yard line. They'll spot it at the 28. The freshman David Ash did not anticipate playing this year, Jesse, but he's gotten the bulk of the work over the course of the season.
We know Texas wants to run the football tonight, but they're going to have to be balanced as well. And as a true freshman, you always worry about a quarterback's timing and his anticipation on throws. He'll be challenged against a very veteran secondary from Cal.
Malcolm Brown is starting at running back, the highly touted freshman. And for over 700 yards this year, Malcolm has it first, and now he's run for 706 yards as he loses one on the first carry. Our tonight's impact players are brought to you by Chick-fil-A.
Jackson Shipley, the younger brother of Jordan Shipley, only a true freshman, doesn't play like it though. He's been their most consistent receiver all year long. You might see him on some trick plays as well. And freshman center Dominic Espinosa has the unenviable task of going one-on-one against Aaron Tipoti, the best D lineman from Cal tonight.
And Michael Kendricks is the Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year. He leads a Bear defense that ranks the top 30 in the nation overall. On second down, the quarterback run that Mack Brown mentioned is David Ash, carries it across the 30-yard line. Pickup of about 5.
Texas offensive coordinator Brian Harsin wants to keep Cal's defense off balance in the running game. You're going to see them run it a lot of different ways. We'll see conventional runs out of the I formation. You'll see the quarterback zone read like we just saw there. Mack Brown talked earlier about the quarterback option. You're going to see wildcat as well. This Cal defense has to play well with their eyes, find the football. It'll be a challenge through 60 minutes.
And on 3rd and 5, this is the type of situation where the Texas quarterbacks have struggled this year. Ash getting heat from behind him, but he dumps it off to DJ Grant, and Grant is tripped up. Sean Cattouse making the tackle. He's going to be just short of that first down marker.
You always worry about tackling in bowl games when respective teams have had so much time off since their last game in the regular season. They don't do a lot of tackling in practice. Right there, Sean Cattouse, great job in the open field, able to wrap up the wide receiver, bring him down just short of the chain.
All right, Jesse, Mack Brown has left his offense on the field right now. Are they going to snap it and go forward and try to draw Cal offside?
No, I think they're going for it, and I like the call. Sending some momentum, sending a message to your team behind a true freshman quarterback.
4th and 1. Big fella Ash sneaking. Initial surge. Looks like Ash has plenty for the first down. Ash gets it just barely. Longhorns 8-4 in bowl games under Mack Brown. They're playing their 50th bowl game. It is the second most all time. 25, 22, and 2 all time. So the first down of the night goes to the Longhorns. And Malcolm Brown carrying it for the second time, and for the second time, he's knocked down behind the line of scrimmage. He loses 4.
Trevor Guyton, the defensive end, has been the most versatile defensive lineman for Cal this year. A lot in the mold of Cameron Jordan from a year ago, who was a first-round pick by the New Orleans Saints. They've been able to move him around. Tremendous explosion off the line of scrimmage. You see this defensive line from Cal, they have the ability to live in the opponent's backfield.
And it's something no team wants, but when you struggle to quarterback the way the Longhorns have, they want to try to keep Ash out of these situations. Second and behind the chains. A little pressure coming on Ash. It's batted into the air and stayed up there a while. It'll be 3rd down and 14. It was Tipoti who got back there and got his mitt on it.
The key for Cal's defense tonight is to make Texas one-dimensional, and they'd rather make them one-dimensional, forcing them to throw the football. You get a loss on first down, you create 2nd and long. Clancy Pendergrass brings pressure, and a nice job up front by Tipoti, getting his hands up. This is an area with a true freshman quarterback that has not had a lot of success throwing the football this year, who do not want to be in.
His last start against Kansas State, Ash was just 7 of 16, threw a couple of picks before getting yanked in favor of Case McCoy. 3rd and 14. Jackson Shipley, his first catch of the night. They were hoping that Jackson could make something out of it, but Mark Anthony would have none of it. The Longhorns threw it in reverse after converting on 4th down, and this time they'll have to punt it away.
Cal's defense very smart, decide to play back in a big zone defense, 8 players in coverage, and Mark Anthony, who will be playing the boundary cornerback tonight. That's a position change for him. They're anticipating the majority of throws to go into the boundary. He's their best corner. We're going to see him around the football a lot.
All right, Justin Tucker, the hero of the Texas A&M game, he kicked the game-winning field goal, also had his punting duties. Both Marvin Jones and Keenan Allen, the fine nine receivers back to receive it. And Jones touched it. Now it's a big scramble for it. And the Longhorns appear to have come out of there with it. And the first big break of the day goes to Texas. Ryan Robertson, the reserve fullback, getting it after, I think Jones thought the ball had been touched and felt compelled to try to get it, and he couldn't hang on to it.
Very lackadaisical here. You see the football kind of spit through. Marvin Jones, a senior, who's been returning punts all season long, just having issues corralling that football, and all of a sudden there's a melee. Huge break for Texas here on special teams, forcing a turnover again. Very sure-handed wide receiver is Marvin Jones. He's led the football team in receptions over the last 2 years heading into this season. Big mistake early for Jeff Tedford's Cal team.
And Robertson made a clean pick. He looked like a shortstop coming in, charging a slow roll. He picked that thing up clean. Now let's listen to Matt Moore.
The punt was illegally touched by Texas. The ball will be placed at the spot of the touching. California, 1st and 10.
So Matt Moore and his crew from the SEC getting together and determining that the Longhorns touched it. First, let's have a look at this again, Jesse, and see if we can find where it was touched.
Yeah, you know, right here, you're looking for Marvin Jones as a returner yelling, Peter, Peter, trying to get everybody cleared away from that. Appears as though maybe that hit the back.
Michael Thompson.
Players, yeah.
Yeah, I think I mentioned a moment ago, I thought that perhaps Jones believed the ball had been touched and he was forced to pick it up. This time Texas again touching a live ball, and again it doesn't work out in the Longhorns' favor. So Cal avoids a disaster, and Zach Maynard comes out to lead the offense. E.C. Sofele is the first carry of the night, and much like Malcolm Brown, he is smacked behind the line of scrimmage. Loss of 1, making the tackle. Kenny Vaccaro and Keenan Robinson in there. Vaccaro's number 4. Here is Maynard, transfer from Buffalo, who's had a great second half of the season.
I think Zach Maynard is going to be challenged mentally in this football game. This Texas defense likes to move around a lot. Zach Maynard has not seen a defense like this year. It'll be very difficult to decipher what the coverages are, where the pressure's coming from. He's got to be great pre-snap and post-snap reads.
Jones, the punt returner, has his first catch of the night. And Marvin, it's across the 35. Pickup of about 8 as we check out our Chick-fil-A impact players. E.C.
Sofele, not the fastest running back in the nation, but he's very patient, quietly having one of the best single seasons in Cal history. He's going to have to play great against a very active Texas front. Keenan Allen, the team's offensive MVP, brother of quarterback Zach Maynard, he's got to win tonight against man-to-man coverage.
And speaking of brother acts, Quentin Jammer's brother, Quandre Diggs, the freshman, will draw the assignment from time to time of guarding Keenan Allen. The young Texas corners who've grown up over the course of the season and played very well late in the year. Maynard on 3rd down, throws it complete, and he has the first down. Making the catch is Michael Calvin, a pickup of 9. So the Bears with a good opening series.
An excellent example of Zach Maynard doing a great job with his pre-snap read. He finds the softest coverage out wide at wide receiver where he has the most access. He's anticipating pressure coming off the edge, able to get the football out of his hands quickly and move the chains.
Maynard working with Sofele behind him in 46, and now they'll look to the sidelines. Jeff Tedford still with a heavy hand in this offense, although Eric Keesaw now calls the plays. They go to the run. It is Sofele. Sofele has a first down into Texas territory, and a big pickup for E.C. Sofele. 11 yards on first down. Jordan Hicks making the stop.
So important that running backs be decisive. And you see here Sofele sees the lane, puts his foot in the ground. There's absolutely zero hesitation. He gets north-south, and he's able to crease this Texas defense.
Sofele was 20th in the nation in rushing, averaging nearly 106 yards per game, very quietly. A very effective runner for the Bears. They go to the running back, C.J. Anderson, a little bit bigger guy than Sofele. Good pickup on first down. Jordan Hicks, the young linebacker, stopped him after he picked up 5.
Cal is going to be very patient running the football against the best run defense in the Big 12 Conference in Texas. They're willing to accept 1, 2, and 3-yard gains because they believe at some point tonight they can crease this defense, gash them for big plays and explosive plays on the ground.
A few good runs. Sofele had an 11-yarder earlier as the Bears inch it toward the red zone. Anderson is back in. Anderson gets it to about the 25-yard line. He's going to be about 3 yards short of the first down. Third down coming. Acho and Hicks on the stop.
When you're able to run for positive yardage on first and second down, setting up third and short, it makes life so much easier on a play caller. The entire playbook right now, Pat Jeff Tedford and Eric Keesaw and Jim Mahalchuk's exposed literature right now. A lot of different things you can do formation-wise. They're going to go with Zach Maynard in the shotgun. Potential quarterback run here.
10th play of the drive. Twice on third down, Maynard has converted. Not this time. Excellent coverage by Quandre Diggs. His brother Quentin Jammer would be proud and breaks it up for Marvin Jones. Fourth down now coming.
You can see why Quandre Diggs was named the Big 12 Defensive Freshman of the Year. Only a true freshman. Gets inside leverage, loses it for a moment, but the recovery and the ability to get a hand inside on a senior wide receiver, much bigger wide receiver like Marvin Jones, forces the field goal attempt.
So Giorgio Tavecchio, who's missed only 3 field goals all year and has made his last 8 in a row, will try from 42 yards out to put the Bears on the board. Make it 9 in a row for Tavecchio, and the Bears strike first. A 3-0 lead on Texas here in San Diego as the Bears finish off a solid drive with 3 points. This is Balboa Park. Park site was placed in reserve in 1835. It makes it one of the oldest sites in the United States dedicated to public recreational use. Cal with a 3-0 lead after the field goal. Zach Maynard in the offense over on the side after Maynard led a 10-play, 40-yard drive that ate up a second under 5 minutes on the clock. And Giorgio Tavecchio had to kick it through the uprights twice. First time waved off for a 5-man in the backfield formation penalty. Backed him up to 47 yards, and Tavecchio was still true. Now Giorgio kicks it off. Drives Quandre Diggs to the end zone. That doesn't stop him from coming out. Diggs gets it across the 20-yard line, so a few yards better than a touchback. 23-yard return. That's where the Horns will put it into place. Goodwin makes a short catch to pick up 3. David Ash will be second at about 7.
Offensive coordinator Brian Harsin is going to try and find creative ways to get Marquise Goodwin the football tonight. He has tremendous speed, world-class speed. Was originally planning on redshirting this year to prepare himself for the 2012 Summer Olympics as a long jumper. He's a guy they have to find ways to get the football in his hands in space.
Marquise down after a pickup of 2. Marquise in that long jump on the NCAA championship in 2010. And now Ash gets out of the pocket to avoid a little pressure. Kendricks is after him, and Kendricks has him. A third down and long, the Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year. Making the stop right at the line of scrimmage. Might have lost half yard.
Michael Kendricks has such tremendous instincts and an ability to find the football. Play action, he locates it in David Ash's hands, and you see the speed for a 240-pound linebacker getting to the sidelines, allowing only for a marginal gain. Tremendous athlete playing the linebacker position, and again, forces third and long.
Texas in the top 30 in the country, converting more than 45% on third down. This is a long one. Ash on the play fake. Firing in, and is just out of the reach of Mike Davis. It'll be fourth down again for the Longhorns.
It looked to me on that play that Mike Davis and Mark Anthony were locked up at the top of his route. He's trying to run an in route, and he's going to return outside of it. You see here, one-on-one matchup. There's Anthony right there. Some jostling as David Ash took a monster shot here from DJ Holt. Wow.
Wow, got buried. Fourth down and 8. Tucker on the punt it. Twin safeties again for Cal. Tucker gets a fortuitous bounce, and it's still rolling. And it comes to rest just outside the 10-yard line. A 49-yard punt after the roll with just over a minute to play here in the first quarter. Spurrier meeting Nebraska in the postseason again. Not pleasant the last time that happened in 95 season, 96 Fiesta Bowl, a 62-24 win over the Gators for the Huskers. Zach Maynard just avoids a safety, and very fortunate that he did. Nico Dumont is the intended receiver. Pressure coming from DeMarco Cobbs almost caught Maynard for the deuce.
We talked earlier about how there were a lot of grumblings midway through the season. People wanted to see Zach Maynard benched. One reason Jeff Tedford stayed with him is because of his ability to extend plays with his athleticism. And you saw it right there, narrowly avoiding potentially a safety, and really a play that should have been completed. I love the play call on first down. They've had success running the football. Now they can get into the movement and the pocket, play action game, try and keep Texas off balance.
Keenan Allen has this one, room to run. Keenan is close to the first down marker, it appears. And he got the football across it, and I think that'll be a first down. Kenny Vaccaro on the stop for the Horns.
There's a lot of different ways to beat pressure as an offense. You can move the pocket, and you can get the football out of your hands quickly. We've seen a couple of wide receiver screens here early in this game. Cal's offensive lineman doing a nice job getting downfield, creating traffic, creating lanes. Keenan Allen, so strong with the football after the catch, once again able to move the chains.
Also got a really good block from his fellow receiver, Michael Calvin, number 11. Give Keenan a little bit more room to sneak the ball out just enough for first down yardage as C.J. Anderson is checked into the backfield. Now the ball's on the ground on the exchange, and it looks as if Texas has got it inside the red zone. And they do. Calvin Howell on the recovery. The big sophomore defensive lineman is Maynard and Anderson got a little tangled up on the zone read. Second turnover for the Bears.
And this is really inexcusable here. Late in December, 13th game of the season, just a basic zone read mesh that's not clean. That's something quarterbacks and running backs work on hundreds of times throughout the week in practice. Miscommunication. It didn't look like C.J. Anderson expected to give. Now the ball's on the ground. Great opportunity for David Ash, this Texas offense, inside Cal's red zone.
Joe Bergeron is a running back. End around. Goodwin, the speedster, and he's knocked down in the backfield. A 4-yard loss. And Texas now back down into single digits in total offense in the first quarter after that loss. They have 7 yards of offense at 11 prior to that 4-yard loss.
Ryan Harsin right now trying to find ways to get different players involved, getting them touches, but right now, Cal's defense playing faster, doing a better job tackling in space. They're dictating tempo right now to Texas offense.
Longhorns had it in the red zone, and the Bears knocked them out of it, but still a golden scoring opportunity when we start the second quarter. Just about set to start the second quarter in San Diego. Time to look at our Pacific Live game summary. Texas and Cal, and not much offense. Bears have a field goal. Texas has only 7 yards of offense. In fact, Longhorns have had 4 first down plays, and they're averaging minus a yard and a half. Just had a 4-yard loss on first down from inside Cal's 20, so now they're looking at 2nd and 14 from the Bear 23, following California's second turnover of the first quarter. David Ash at quarterback, Joe Bergeron, the running back behind him. Any time on the play clock as Ash adjusts. Bergeron, a freshman running back, picks up a couple, and now it's 3rd and 12, and they're right there on the edge of the red zone, and this is where Texas has been particularly ineffective throwing the football.
Cal's defense right now does not respect Texas's ability to throw the football. On that last play, man-to-man across the board, they line up 8 guys in the box, anticipating run. David Ash is going to have to start making plays throwing the football and trying back this Cal defense away from the line of scrimmage.
Third time tonight, the Horns have been faced with a 3rd down of more than 10. Quick throw, not even close. Bryant Jackson made the catch. There to make the tackle immediately was the freshman Chris McCain. McCain, like Zach Maynard, Keenan Allen, also from Greensboro, North Carolina. A little pipeline coming across the continent here, and it's the 4th and 11. Justin Tucker will come on to prime field goal.
Tremendous job by Cal's defense here in a sudden change situation. Your team's just turned the football over inside your red zone. You hold them to -1 yard. You're going to give up potentially a field goal. That is a huge win if you're Cal.
Kane made the tackle. Bears coaching staff believe that he can be a star. Tucker will try to tie the game from 38 yards out. Tucker puts it up, and it is wide. So Texas misses a golden opportunity after the fumble by Maynard and Anderson, and McCain made the huge play on 3rd down, and the Bears hold on to that 3-0 lead. First and 10, not much has happened on 1st down for either team. E.C. Sofele, Cal was averaging less than a yard per play on 1st down. Sofele picks up 5 before Acho stopped it.
Texas is a defense that likes to move around a lot. They have a lot of stunts and games and twists up front on the defensive line, and linebackers are looping. And that's tremendous to get pressure on opposing quarterbacks and try and confuse offensive lines, but you can also get gashed if Cal has the right play called at the right time. You remember Baylor had a lot of success with the zone read when they played in the final game of the regular season.
Maynard got rid of it just before pressure got there. Marvin Jones makes the catch, steps out of bounds. It'll be a 1st down for the Bears.
It just looks like Zach Maynard has been so much more decisive here in the last part of the regular season. Again, finding his one-on-one matchup against Quandre Diggs, a great route by Marvin Jones, turning the young true freshman around. But the timing, the ball coming out, confidence in the throw with the velocity. Yet again, Cal able to move the chains by throwing the football.
Jones has 3 catches already, 38 consecutive games in which he's had a catch at Cal. He's in the pocket, firing, and Maynard hit Allen right in the chest. Keenan was losing his footing, but he couldn't quite hang on to it. 2nd down and 10.
Something you very rarely see, and right now Cal's offense, I think, has Texas's defense off balance a little bit. They're able to mix up the play calling, putting Maynard in the shotgun under center, different personnel groupings, moving the pocket. They've thrown the football to a lot of different areas of the field so far. Not very predictable, not making it easy for Manny Diaz, the defensive coordinator of Texas, to understand which coverages to call and where to send pressure from.
Sofele picked up a couple. It'll be 3rd down and long. You know, one of the things, Jesse, that's happened, the Texas defense, with a couple of exceptions, they didn't play great against Oklahoma State. Probably fair to say they played fairly poorly in many areas against Baylor and against Oklahoma. For the most part, they've been stout all year. The ineptitude on offense at times and the lack of productivity has hurt. Starting off that way again tonight. 3rd and 8. Only one guy with his hand on the ground for the Horns. Oh, over the top, Vaccaro's after Maynard, and he got him. What an athletic play by Kenny Vaccaro. A loss of 8. Might be an S on that chest after that one.
This time, defensive coordinator Manny Diaz guessed right, anticipated the rollout to the field, so he brings pressure from that side. How about the vertical by Kenny Vaccaro, just leapfrogging the 5'8" E.C. Sofele.
I was going to say he was 5'8", and he's trying to cut him, too.
No, you know, and give him credit. He easily could have run him over. Yeah. Decided to take the hard way around the block, able to affect the play, get the football back. Great field position coming up for Texas.
Brian Anger standing at his own 10-yard line. He's a guy who's got a big leg, 10th in the nation in punting. Anger is a conventional one, and that is not one of his better efforts. In fact, it is a flat shank that doesn't even get across the 50-yard line. A very poor punt from Anger, 24 yards. And Texas will once again have excellent field position. The question, can the Longhorns do anything with it? Cal with a 3-0 lead in the second. On 1st down, David Ash going to take a shot down the middle of the field, and Jackson Shipley makes the catch. That is Texas' second 1st down of the night. The other one coming on the quarterback sneak from Ash early in the game.
And I like the play call by Brian Harsin, going into conventional I formation, using play action, and Jackson Shipley doing a nice job working the middle of the field, and a very, very nice throw by David Ash.
get that quarterback situation straightened out. 8's going to be a star for the Longhorns. On first down this time, no running room whatsoever. DJ Holt stops Malcolm Brown. And Texas struggling to run the ball, Jesse. Less than 10 yards rushing in the first half so far. This is the top 20 rushing offense in the country.
Yeah, and it's surprising when you consider that they're healthy again at running back. They have a lot of different pieces that they did not have late in the season. So really you expected this offense to be able to run it more effectively out of a lot of different ways.
We have a couple of young offensive linemen that they readily admit need some size and strength, and the Cal defensive line's been having its way so far. Ash on second down has a wide open man. It's Blaine Irby. Irby's inside the 10, and he's knocked down at the 5. First and goal for the Longhorns. A 29-yard pickup.
Texas able to sneak tight end Blaine Irby out the backside. They're going to start with play action away from this play. Blaine Irby actually lined up on the right side of the formation, kind of got lost in the wash. I'm not so sure if you call that necessarily a trick play, but sleight of hand, getting all the flow to one side of the field. Tremendous play call again by Brian Harsin.
Brown has it. This time they'll reverse, and Shipley's going to throw it again to Ash. Ash, touchdown, Texas. And what else would you expect? Jordan Shipley now 4 for 4 passing this season with 3 touchdowns. That solves Texas passing problems right there.
Brian Harsin loves dialing up trick plays, especially down in the red zone and on first down. Tremendous job that whole series, 3 plays in a row. That's really the explosiveness that you're expecting to see here from Texas.
A 4-play, 48-yard drive. Tucker, who earlier had the longest punt in Holiday Bowl history with a 64-yarder, has never missed an extra point, and he still has a perfect 69 for 69. And Mack's team gets on the board with his first sign of life on offense tonight. There you go, and the Longhorns lost 3 of their last 4 games in the regular season, with a 7-3 lead over Cal, as we check in with Jen Brown, who's with Jeff Tedford of Cal.
Thanks, Reese. Coach, a couple of turnovers, some low snaps. How do you get more production and clean those mistakes up on offense in the second half?
We got to settle down. Those snaps are killing us, obviously, and 2 turnovers. Can't have that. That's a great defense we're playing against. We got to get some rhythm going on offense. Defense is playing real well.
Going to speak to that defense. How would you assess their play and their ability to contain David Ash tonight?
They're doing well. They're doing well. We gave them some bad field position. They stepped up a couple times. We let a trick play get behind us a little bit, but they're playing solid for the most part.
All right, thanks, Coach. Reese?
Texas with a 7-3 lead on Cal at the half. About time to go to the studio for the H&R Block halftime report and join Mark May, Lou Holtz, and Ryan Burr. And here is Jackson Shipley, the freshman. Well, he's going to have passing efficiency numbers off the charts, Ryan. Longhorns up 7-3. Welcome back to the Bridgepoint Education Holiday Bowl in San Diego. Just about set to start the second half. Cal and Texas has been a defensive struggle. A 7-3 Longhorn lead, the 10 points in the first half, matching a Holiday Bowl record for fewest number of points in the first half. Oklahoma and Oregon, normally offensive juggernauts back in 2005, also combined for only 10 points. As you see, Jeff Tedford leading the Bears out for the second half. Reese Davis, Jesse Palmer, and Jen Brown down on the field with you. Cal's going to get it first here in the second half. Not much worked after their field goal drive offensively. What kind of adjustments do you expect to see from them?
Cal has to get back to being balanced on offense right now. Only 10 yards rushing. When you consider all of their explosive plays over the last 4 games of the regular season came in the passing game off of play action when they were able to move the pocket. The only way that can continue to work here in the second half is if they get back running the football and establishing that, and they have to cut out the self-inflicted wounds. They're having issues with the shotgun snap right now. 2 critical turnovers in that first half. If they're able to get out of their way, get back with Isi Sofele running the football and trying to be 2-dimensional and balanced, get back in this football game.
10 points in the first half and 9 punts. As for David Ash in Texas, this is a team that's top 20 in the nation in rush offensive, the only team in the country with 2 games of 425 yards or more rushing. They had 4 yards rushing in the first half, but Texas did put together a touchdown drive in the second quarter, and it's where we stand as the Longhorns get set to kick it away. Horns are up 7-3. Bears will have it to start the second half. On the return is Anderson. C.J. Anderson, the tailback, gets it to the 30-yard line. Come with Jen.
Thanks, Reese. Well, I caught up with Mack Brown out of the half. I asked him to assess his team's play so far. He said, Jen, if we were in the SEC, we'd be talking about what a great game this is because both defenses have played well, but we're not. And our offense is really, his offense needs to clean up those mistakes. They need to make the field goals. He said, we want to establish the run on the outside. I asked him what it would take to see Case McCoy come in the game. He said, Jen, haven't even thought about it because we're ahead.
All right, Jen, that's something we'll talk about in the second half. Well, misdirection, Sofele played beautifully by Carrington Bindum. Very short game by Sofele. So let me ask you this. I mean, that is what Max said about the SEC. People think there's great defense played there. Do you agree with it? Is it all great defense or bad offense too?
Well, I think it's been bad offense from Cal. I think it's been great defense so far from Texas. As you see right here, we talked about them being a fast flow unit. They like to pursue the football. So much speed and the ability to change direction, stressing this Cal offense. Having issues right now trying to find ways to outflank Texas to the outside.
Maynard on 2nd and 13, fires for Jones. Marvin went down to get it. Nice catch. A little bit short of the first down. They'll need about 3, but this is much more manageable than what the Bears were staring at a moment ago.
Surprised on this last play. Cornerback Carrington Bindum giving so much cushion there on Marvin Jones. They've had success so far in this game, getting up close and personal, pressing at the line of scrimmage, challenging these Cal receivers to beat them downfield, lining up here press man-to-man coverage on 3rd and short.
Cal is 3 of 9 on 3rd down tonight. Maynard on the roll, firing. Allen's out there. He's got it for the first down into Texas territory. Excellent catch by Keenan Allen. A pickup of 20 on 3rd and 3.
Zach Maynard is the most comfortable when throwing the football on his run, particularly to his left. Keenan Allen here lining up in the bunch formation, able to get outside position on Carrington Bynum there. Great throw, great catch. It's as if those two have done that once or twice before, Reese.
I would say so. You had to look at Keenan Allen and Zach Maynard's parents sitting in the stands. They've been intense the whole game. I've barely seen Scott Lane crack a smile. Maybe it's because they don't have a touchdown on the board yet. And so Sofele goes to the ground. Emmanuel Acho. Sofele down for a yard loss.
You know, I think what makes Keenan Allen so special is his competitive fire. This coaching staff had been around Deshaun Jackson when he was playing here at Cal, and they say that Keenan Allen, even more competitive than he is, he refuses to lose. He does it in a great manner. He competes. He's always smiling. He's being challenged by a very good secondary from Texas tonight. Keenan Allen making plays.
Texas in the Big 12, they see great receivers every week. Manny Diaz told us yesterday, Allen as good as any of them. He said he wasn't so sure Kendall Wright of Baylor might not have been the best. Sofele, nothing on the edge. Acho is there again. It'll be 3rd and long for the Bears.
You know, Acho had a bit of a problem early this year, maybe being too smart for his own good. This coaching staff saying oftentimes was trying to diagnose plays too often. When you play linebacker, it has to be very instinctive. You find the football, you go attack the football, you get the football. In these last 2 plays, you've seen Emmanuel Acho identify where it is, no hesitation, attack and use his speed.
3rd and 11. The pressure's coming late. Maynard breaking the play. He's got a man in the middle of the field, and he finds him. It's Keenan Allen. Allen has another first down. He's inside the 25-yard line, and a broken field play. Maynard getting to the outside and finding Allen for 19 on 3rd and 11.
It's so important in scramble drills that wide receivers find the soft spots in defense and they work with their quarterback. Here's Zach Maynard, wants to work the sideline. It's not there. Forced to roll to his left, doing a nice job keeping his eyes downfield and not telegraphing where he's throwing the football. At the very last second, throwing across his body, which you never want to see a quarterback do, but because he doesn't telegraph it, that play's successful.
Give to Sofele. Sofele inside the 20-yard line and down to about the 16. Pickup of 7 on first down.
You know, there's such a great recent tradition of running backs here at Cal. We consider guys like Shane Vereen, Javid Best, Marshawn Lynch, Justin Forsett, E.C. Sofele, really quietly has had one of the best years ever in a single season at running back here at Cal this year. Very patient runner. He's a small guy, not the fastest, finds creases, finds ways to make positive plays. He's been a major part of this offense this season.
Second and 3, Sofele is the lone running back. Maynard. Oh, Acho had a chance to intercept it. It'll be third down. Pressure was coming from Kenny Vaccaro, who had the spectacular sack earlier after leapfrogging over Sofele.
As a quarterback, you have to see where you're throwing the football. We saw an example earlier of Zach Maynard not telegraphing where he's throwing. Well, this one, pressure forced him to come back to a shallow cross route late to Anthony Miller. But Zach Maynard didn't even check to see the coverage. It was double coverage, should have been an interception. Texas getting a big hit on Maynard, now setting up third and short. If you're Maynard, you have to anticipate bump and run coverage. His brother Keenan Allen in the slot and man-to-man.
Moving Maynard, quick throw, Allen's got it. Allen stays on his feet and steps out of bounds. It'll be first and goal for the sturdy Golden Bears. They pick up a 10 and another third down conversion.
For a wide receiver that's 6'3" and 205 pounds, he's very big, he's very physical, but he does such a good job with the ball after the catch. Tremendous athleticism and balance. Able to convert that first down. There you see him competing with this tremendous secondary of Texas.
Cal 3 for 3 on third down on the drive, and in the red zone, they were second in the Pac-12. Touchdown, giving the lead. Sofele's got the corner. He's into the end zone. Touchdown, California. His 10th touchdown on the ground, and the Bears come out with easily their best offensive drive of the night.
And they got back to running the football. Here they kind of picked the tempo up at the line of scrimmage. They catch Texas's defense stunting inside. That allowed them to get the edge, gashing that defense. We talked about that earlier. Defense that moves a lot, you can find ways to crease them if you dial up the right play at the right time.
Giorgio Tavecchio had a bit of an adventure at times with extra points. He's missed 6 of them this year, but not that one. As the Bears, 11 plays, 69 yards, a little over 5 minutes off the clock, and Scott Lang and Dory Maynard Lang. Now Scott's smiling a little bit. That's my boy. Put him on top, 10-7.
We do miss our partner. Wish him the best.
Absolutely. Echoed from all of us here on the Thursday night crew as E.C. Sofele just put Cal up 10-7. DJ Monroe returning the kickoff and sit across the 20-yard line. Oh, and David Ash, the freshman who's gone the distance at quarterback, caught a touchdown pass from Jackson Shipley in the first half of the Horns only scored. Texas, who didn't run it effectively in the first half, going to the freshman Malcolm Brown. His best run by far of the night as he rips off 19.
Malcolm Brown has the best vision of any of the running backs right now in Texas's stable. You see the patience when he sees the lane, putting his foot in the ground, a little bit of wiggle through the hole, but he's able to be explosive, firing through.
Malcolm Brown, a big-time star, coming in as a true freshman, ranked by ESPNU as the second-best running back in the country. Deal with some injuries this year. He missed the Baylor game. He's had a turf toe and a knee, but time off helped both Brown and Joe Bergeron get healthy as David Ash pulled it to the fake to Brown, and Ash turns the corner and gets out of bounds. That's a solid pickup of 4 on first down.
Texas has to get back to running the football here in the second half as well. Fozzie Whitaker, a guy that this team lost to a torn ACL against Missouri late in the season. And when they lost Fozzie Whitaker, they lost their most valuable player. Not just because of his productivity on offense, not just because of his ability to run the Wildcat, or the fact that he took 2 100-yard kickoffs back to the house for touchdowns, but he was a mentor to these young running backs. When they lost him, they lost their best player. It's affected this offense. It's also affected this football team.
Back to Brown. Malcolm twisting and turning and appears to have enough for another Texas first down as we check in with Jen Brown now with more on Fozzie.
We want to talk about the commitment that he has to his team. He actually had surgery scheduled on that knee for December 19th. He decided to push it back to January 6th so he could come here and be with his team. And as you know, the coach has said that he was very instrumental to all the players on this team, such a leader. And I've been watching him here on the sidelines. He's been talking to all the offensive players, really keeping them in the game. So I'm sure they appreciate having him here on the sidelines.
He's a guy that Brown and Bergeron have really looked up to in their first season. And Austin Ash going up top. He's got Goodwin. Great speed. Touchdown, Texas. 47 yards on the strike from David Ash to Marquise Goodwin. And after a defensive struggle in the first half, back-to-back touchdowns to start the third quarter.
Marquise Goodwin wins on this route because of his release off the line of scrimmage. Right off the jump, quick move inside, and the track star is gone. And that's against Mark Anthony, the best corner of this very good Cal secondary. Marquise Goodwin really has been the answer, the go-to guy here in the second half of the season for Texas. Big play there, getting Texas back on the board.
What do you know? Texas answers Cal's long, time-consuming drive with a 4-play, 76-yarder that took a little over a minute and a half, minute 41 to be precise, and just like that, the Longhorns regained their 4-point lead. Goodwin hauling in his second touchdown catch of the season, and Ash and the Longhorns are up 14-10. On Naval Base San Diego is the principal home port of the Pacific Fleet, and also the few days after Christmas vacation spot of Santa Claus, apparently. 55 Navy ships, a couple of Coast Guard cutters here. Or holiday decoration competition. That was the remnants that you saw of Santa on the naval ship. As Texas, rather than taking to the seas, took to the air. David Ash finding Marquise Goodwin with the Longhorns back on top, 14-10. And Cal had an outstanding drive the last time it had the ball. Zach Maynard and the Bears get it right back. A short kickoff, fielded at the 15 by Brendan Bigelow. Bigelow, who returned to kickoff for a touchdown earlier this year against Presbyterian. Stopped just short of the 30-yard line. Let's take a look at tonight's quarterback spotlight, brought to you by Dove Men Plus Care.
I think Zach Maynard has looked comfortable throughout the course of the game. He had one costly interception early in that first half. David Ash, meanwhile, slow starting, missed a couple throws early. We've really seen him find his rhythm here since those first couple of series. Throwing the football looks a lot more confident as this game's gone on. You see him now high-fiving the head coach, high-fiving the offensive lineman. That leadership, that demeanor this coaching staff loves about him, starting to show.
Maynard gives this to Sofelli. DC pick up a couple on first down. Maynard, for his part, played much better on that last drive than he did early, and he's now just 69 yards away from becoming just the third Cal quarterback ever to throw for 3,000 yards. And by the way, neither of the other two named Aaron Rodgers.
And that's remarkable when you've considered all of the grumbling surrounding the Cal program this year, all the naysayers that wanted to see Zach Maynard benched here midway through the season. He's persevered, played his best football late. Jeff Tedford's done an outstanding job with him.
On second down, Maynard standing in the pocket. And let's see if Marvin Jones caught it and stayed in bounds. He did. Manuel Acho is dropping into coverage. Jones has had a very good night. His final game in a Bear uniform, the senior from Fontana, California. He and his girlfriend just welcomed their second child, young Marion born, and their older son, Marv III, about to turn 3 next month. Marvin has another catch. Both his dad and his son can be proud of the night Marvin Jones is putting together here in the Holiday Bowl. Although young Marv appears to be about to nod off while Dad's putting on a show out in front of him.
He wants a go route or a post. He's not interested in all these comebacks and these curls. He wants downtown throws. But right now, Marvin Jones doing an outstanding job with his routes. They say he's the steadiest right now, these receivers, with respect to his route running, and having a tremendous game so far.
But the 1-2 punch of Jones and Allen, each with 7 catches and 68 yards. Exactly. So Felly puts it on the ground, and Texas has it. Well, they had it, and they do. third turnover of the night for the Bears. Calvin Howell knocked it away from Sofele as he was looking for running room. There is a flag down on the field.
And it looked like that was going to be a big play for Cal. It appeared as though Sofele was going to be able to get the edge and burst into the secondary. What a huge turnover for Texas.
The fumbles are covered by Texas. On the play, we had holding, number 65 of the offense. That penalty is declined. First down.
You talked about avoiding creating problems for yourself, and Sofele just doesn't have it secured.
How about the job by Calvin Howell fighting off the double team, anchoring into the ground, does not get moved. Right here you see, able to get a hand dislodged from the block, puts it right on the football. Sofele can't hold on. Huge turnover, and it gives Texas now the football back here right around midfield.
Reggie Wilson with the recovery. The third turnover of the night. We'll see if Harsin tries to hit him quickly on the sudden change. So Marquise Goodwin's the fastest of the 22 on the field now. Goodwin deep into Cal territory, and Texas has a first and goal. Mark Anthony saved a touchdown, a 37-yard run for Goodwin.
We knew that Brian Harsin was going to come into this game and try and find creative ways to get the football in the hand of his playmaker, Marquise Goodwin. They have not had a lot of success tonight when trying to run east-west, particularly in slow developing plays like handoffs to the wide receiver, but too much speed, too much open field ability, gets the football down inside close to the 7-yard line.
A lot's been asked of the Cal defense tonight, but they need to hold Texas to a field goal here. Cody Johnson dragging people inside the 5 on what will be the final play of the third quarter. And Texas has an opportunity to make it a 2-possession game. I think Diaz has a little intensity.
He understands that creating turnovers and how that sparks your own offense.
Texas playing with some serious passion as well. They're up forward, trying to get more when the fourth quarter starts. Fourth quarter starting in the Bridgepoint Education Holiday Bowl in San Diego. Texas up on Cal, 14-10. As we start the fourth quarter, the Longhorns are knocking on the door. After the fourth turnover of the night that Bevo's crew has collected, Texas threatening to make it a 2-score game. Big Cody Johnson in a tailback. Cal wanting a motion penalty, didn't get it. Instead, they get a face full of Johnson, who rolls in from the 4, and the Horns are up by 2 scores.
Cody Johnson is the battering ram in this Texas backfield, weighing 252 pounds, and there's no mystery. When you get down inside the 5-yard line, who's getting the football? That's now his 6th rushing touchdown on 8 attempts inside the 5-yard line this season. They run the power play, pulling a backside guard, getting an extra body at the point of attack. That's just too much load at the line of scrimmage, working his way in for a touchdown.
Justin Tucker will try to make it an 11-point game. And he does. So Cal has been playing with fire all night with the turnovers. The Bear defense has been able to stand up time and time again, but the most recent turnover, the 4th one of the night. Zach Maynard getting pressure from Adrian Phillips. Chris Whaley was there to scoop it up, and Texas cashed it in from there with Cody Johnson rolling in, and the Longhorns are up 21-10. It's become much more pleasant for the Longhorns after taking advantage of a 4th turnover from Cal. Texas has stretched its lead to 21-10 early in the 4th quarter. Reese Davis, Jesse Palmer, and Jen Brown, glad to have you with us. Capital One Bowl week rolls on. It was a defensive struggle in the first half. The offenses have been more productive in the second half, but it was the Texas defense and forcing yet another Cal miscue that led to the latest score, and now a sense of urgency have to permeate the Cal offense. Cannon going off, kick 2. Brendan Bigelow on the return. Bigelow, a little bit of a crease, gets across the 35-yard line, a 24-yard return. Still plenty of time left though, but Zach Maynard and the Bear offense needs to get something started. Jordan Hicks sacks Maynard. 5th sack of the night for the Longhorns, a season high allowed by the Bears. Behind the chains once again is the Cal offense.
This time, just Jordan Hicks coming off the edge. You see what Texas's defense has been able to do tonight. You know what's been remarkable to me, Reese? Texas's defense is 15th in the nation in total defense, but they've done it having played 6 opponents this year that finished in the top 15 with respect to total offense. 3 of those opponents finished in the top 4. So is life playing in the Big 12. Good offenses week in, week out, and still, this defense is dominating.
Maynard to Allen. Keenan was hit first by Adrian Phillips. Blake Gideon, the senior, playing his final game in the Longhorn uniform. There to finish off the tackle.
That's been a big difference for Manny Diaz, I think, making the transition to the Big 12 Conference from the SEC. He told us the biggest difference, lots of great receivers in the Big 12. Everybody can throw the football. Everybody can catch the football. You have to get used to that week in, week out playing in the Big 12.
3rd and 11. Late pressure coming from Acho. Marvin Jones out there. And Diaz on the sidelines immediately signaling uncatchable. Andre Diggs is on the coverage. Maynard wanted the call. There's no laundry on the field. You know, I thought something else that when we were talking about what Manny said yesterday in terms of the differences in the SEC and the Big 12. He talked about how you're a product of your backyard.
Yeah.
So there are more guys in the SEC footprint, the original SEC footprint, who are big defensive lineman type. He said you see more big, agile, tough defensive linemen in the SEC, but because of the proliferation of 7-on-7 in the Texas area, you see teams that can throw and catch it at a much higher level in the Big 12.
They've been doing it since they were in high school. Those skills are just so much more developed by the time they get to college.
Diggs with the fair catch just inside his own 25.
Expecting a lot of points in that Alamo Bowl. No one talking about Keith Price and Chris Polk, Jermaine Kearse over at Washington.
Malcolm Brown. That's close to the 30-yard line. Wow, Washington swooned a little bit down the stretch. Robert Griffin III certainly did not. He lit up this Texas defense, which has been dominant tonight. Heisman winner, giving Baylor his first Heisman Trophy winner. Looks as if he's going to blow away the NCAA pass efficiency.
Oh, it's the most efficient single season we've ever seen, but I think that performance against this Texas defense, which is what's so impressive. I thought Texas's defense was one of the top 3 in the country at the end of the regular season, up there with Alabama and LSU, before they ran into RG3 at Baylor.
Malcolm Brown getting close to the first down. And one of the things that, and while Cal has turned it over 4 times, Texas has only gotten 1 score off of it. It was, you know, turnovers. We talk about so many stats in the game. Turnovers end up being the ones that decide the game most of the time. That's what happened to Texas against Baylor. Case McCoy threw 4 interceptions. They had 6 turnovers.
Tale of 2 halves.
Yeah. They were in the game in the first half. The second half, the defense sort of crumbled under the weight of the turnovers as Jeremy Hills has checked in at tailback on the 3rd and short as we head toward the 8-minute mark in San Diego. The pitch to Hills. First down. Hills explodes through the hole and gets across the 45-yard line, a 15-yard run for the junior from Houston.
Nice job lining up in the power I formation, making it look like it's going to be dive or quarterback sneak, reverse pivot, faking the fullback dive, and that fools the outside edge player just enough. That's freshman David Wilkerson, who got left inside. Fozzie Whitaker, he's been coaching up these young running backs. Big smile on his face, he likes that.
And some more of the funk, as Brian Harsin calls it. Ash is going to try to cut one loose, and wide open down there was Mike Davis, but he couldn't get it to him. Good recovery for Mark Anthony to save the touchdown.
Oh, we talked about how Brian Harsin loves dialing up the trick plays on first down when there's an opportunity to be safe with the football if it's not there.
That play broken up.
They had a receiver wide
Personal
open.
foul, roughing the passer, number 90 of the defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
There's Mustafa Jalil. They call him Moose, a highly thought-of defensive lineman for Cal, who got the hit a little bit late on David Ash.
David Ash just had to let that go the first time. He had Mike Davis wide open down the field on a post throw. He hesitated for a moment and then underthrew the football, which allowed Anthony to break that up. And you see the true freshman Jalil with the late hit on the quarterback. giving them a first down. But again, you know, it's this conservative trick play calling by Brian Harsin. Call it on first down,
Right.
call it when it's in the red zone, and he does that so that if it's not there downfield, the ball carrier can eat the football, throw it away, and you still have 2 downs to play with.
It's one of the big misconceptions, I think, about Harsin is the Longhorns go back to the ground. Malcolm Brown spins out of 1 tackle, but he can't get away from Michael Kendricks. I think there's a perception from Brian's days at Boise State that they're pitching the ball all over the place and all the laterals, and certainly he does a lot of creative things, but I think you hit it right on the head. He's almost conservative in a different way. They like to run power. They want to run the football. It's just at different times he'll try to throw those tricks in at you early.
Brian Harsin finds his inspiration for trick plays oftentimes by watching other teams play. And he'll see a play on TV and go, you know, we could add a reverse to that, flip it back to the receiver, he could throw it. I might put that in the playbook. He's always looking for new opportunities.
Joe Bergeron. This is Harsin's bread and butter. Just give it to a running back. Bergeron gets down close to the 30, pick up 7.
You know, I think you have to give Mack Brown a lot of credit because he disrupted a lot of things this past offseason. Hired 6 new assistant coaches, 2 new coordinators, and he changed to a more pro-style 2-back offense. You have to remember, last year, Texas only averaged 24 points a game. It was their lowest total in 20 years. They split ways with their old offensive coordinator, Greg Davis, who had been with them 15 years. And he brought in Brian Harsin from Boise State to run this style of offense this year.
Play action. Ash gets away and throws it away. They'll bring up a 4th down. You know, Mack says he is more energized coaching than he has been in a number of years, and DeLoss Dodds and Texas staff talking contract extension with Mack, even though he's already under.
Number 14 of the offense. Ball be placed at the spot of the foul. 4th down.
Even though he's already under contract through 2016, and Ash was not outside that tackle box when he threw the ball away, so the intentional grounding, spot foul, it'll be 4th down. And it pushes them out of field goal range, but Texas now with less than 6 minutes to play, probably just as happy to pin Cal deep in its own end, especially when you consider the way the Longhorn defense has been playing recently.
No doubt about it. Pin them deep, force them to drive the length of the field, which Cal has not been able to do so far.
Tucker gets the punt away. Jones fakes the fair catch, and the Longhorns will down it inside the 10-yard line. So Cal, 5:49 to go, 2 scores behind and more than 90 yards away from the first touchdown. They'll try to come up with a Holiday Bowl rally when you come back. E.C. Sofele picks up about 4 before Emmanuel Acho puts him on the ground.
You know, I don't think a win tonight by Texas is going to change people's perception that this has been a disappointing year when you consider the standards that Texas has set. But I do believe getting here to a bowl game was huge for Mack Brown's team. You consider how young they are. Here's a team that has 30 of its 44 players in the 2-deep roster listed as freshmen or sophomores. They needed these extra 15 days of practice and this bowl experience to help them out getting set for next year.
The year before last, Texas played in the national championship game, and Mack was pointing out yesterday about half the squad had never been to a bowl game.
Yeah.
You know, because dealing with a roster that's heavily freshman and sophomore. But to your point, on offense, it appears they're going to go with David Ash at quarterback. Everybody on the offensive line is back except for the left guard, David Snow. Jackson Shipley's back. Mike Davis is back. They'll have receivers.
All those running backs. They got a great recruit coming in Jonathan Gray. They expect to be better at every position on offense next year, and they're going to return 7 starters on defense. Very positive outlook.
Jonathan Gray set a high school record for a touchdown scored. He's joining that backfield with Malcolm Brown and Joe Bergeron as Keenan Allen makes a 10-yard grab to let Cal maintain possession of the ball as we head toward the 4.5-minute mark to play.
And meanwhile, looking at Cal, forecasting them in the 2012 season, receiver is going to be the position that they're going to need a lot of help. And that sounds funny saying that when you consider they have Keenan Allen, but they're going to lose 3 seniors, including Marvin Jones. They're going to need new players, potentially young players, to play right away. Zach Maynard back, E.C. Sofele back, a lot of big key playmakers on offense, but that receiver position will be critical.
Jackson Jeffcoat as a hold is at Maynard, and down he goes again. Jeffcoat has done a tremendous job not biting on the boots and the waggles and so forth, and when Maynard has rolled out of the pocket, big number 44 has been there to greet him, loss of 14.
He's very slippery, very difficult to block, and that's really a constant along this defensive line. Hard to sustain blocks against these athletes. How about forecasting next year with Alex Okafor and Jackson Jeffcoat now coming off the edge, having played 1 year under Manny Diaz's system? Not going to get any easier trying to block this front.
Marvin Jones maintains his balance. Marvin puts it on the ground again and rolling around, and Texas has it, another Cal turnover. Sort of a fitting way to wrap up the night for the Bears.
From one standpoint, we're going to look at Cal and say had to do a better job with ball security, but I think you also have to give credit to this defense being opportunistic, consistently stripping at the ball. Excellent coaching. You see right there on that play,
Sherrod Evans
able to get inside, punch the football out, and look at all the different burnt orange jerseys running to that football, jumping on top of it. Manny Diaz fired up, so he should be. This has really been a lights-out performance for this Texas defense, and like you said, Reese, very fitting performance by them in their final game of the 2011 season.
5 turnovers forced, that's a season high for Texas. 6 sacks, that's a season high for Texas. And the Longhorns going to win a bowl game for their 26th time in their storied history, and this their 50th bowl appearance. Big Cody Johnson, his final game in a Longhorn uniform, wearing Fozzie Whitaker's number 2, powering through the Cal defense.
You expect this offense to take another step forward next year. Mack Brown harked back to his 2004 Rose Bowl experience against Michigan, 2 national championship games against USC and against Alabama. He looks at the SEC, he sees teams running the football from conventional fashion. He wants to be the most physical offense in a spread league. That's why he brought Brian Harsin in. That's why you're seeing more downhill running this year. It's been a year of experiments. There's been some good things happen. There have been some bad things happen. If the quarterback position continues to get better, this offense will take strides.
There goes Cody again. He'll move the chains for the first down, pick up 6. The other thing, too, Mack had talked about a couple of previous trips to San Diego for the Holiday Bowl in 2003 and 2007, how they used a loss in one case to Washington State and a victory against Arizona State in another case to really start a cycle of excellence the following 2 years. In each case, they followed the next 2 years by going to a BCS game in the second year of that cycle the previous 2 times, played the national championship game, beating USC in that classic and then losing to Alabama a couple of years ago. The Longhorns believe they're pretty much improved quarterback play away from starting that type of cycle and returning to the level of performance we've become accustomed to seeing from them.
And they need better play up front in the offensive line. 4 underclassmen right now starting, but they're going to carry 103 starts into next year, and these young players get an opportunity to get bigger and stronger. They got to have a huge offseason in the weight room to get more physical, and they need tight ends as well. In this new offense, tight ends have to play a major part in this scheme.
But take a look at 68 right here, the left tackle Josh Cochran. He's a freshman. Very high on him, but some injuries really hampered his offseason workouts. He's going to be a lot bigger and stronger. He's a good athlete. He's got a good frame. He understands what to do, and he plays hard. That's why he's in the game now. He could be a real force, a beast out there at left tackle as he gets stronger, and certainly Espinoza at center is the same way. He needs a little more size and strength as well, and they'll get it in the Texas conditioning program.
I think that's why Mack Brown and why Brian Harsin are very excited, looking forward. You see here, hats on hats. Guys understand assignments. It is a very smart young group of players. They're not as physically dominant as you'd like them to be right now, but again, you look at all the receivers coming back, this entire stable of running backs coming back. The quarterback position was the one missing piece this year on offense and last year for Texas. They need that to change. If it does, they can compete and win a Big 12 championship next year.
In 3rd and 3, our Capital One player of the game is David Ash. Caught the touchdown pass from Jackson Shipley, threw the touchdown pass to Goodwin, but the most important thing he did tonight was he didn't give the ball to Cal.
looked confident, looked comfortable, did not put up tremendous numbers, but this is a very good Cal defense he's facing tonight. Sat in the pocket, made some throws, really found a rhythm. I think Brian Harsin helped him out with play calling, giving him some easy looks. He was able to flash his athleticism, not just running the football, catching it as well. Showed tremendous touch on deep balls. I think he's done a lot of things tonight to really try and take hold of that starting quarterback job heading into the 2012 season.
Cody Johnson on third down, pushing it close to the first down marker. There's a player down. There's Mustafa Jalil. Jalil, a freshman from here in San Diego. Texas inside a minute to go with a 1st and goal, and they're about to wrap up this Bridgepoint Education Holiday Bowl. Victory formation for the Longhorns.
David Ash has to be very happy with his performance. Certainly Zach Maynard talking with his brother. No, that's Michael Calvin.
Yeah.
Looked like his brother, but this was a game Zach Maynard said they had to win for the exact same reason, carrying momentum into the offseason. A lot of people feel like Cal has the talent coming back next year to at least finish second next year in the Pac-12 North Division. They're going to have to replace 6 key playmakers on defense. Lots of talent coming back for Jeff Tedford as well. Good things to look forward to, I think, for both of these teams heading into their respective conferences next season.
And don't forget the trophy presentation you can watch over on ESPN3, and in 3 seconds it'll be official. Mack Brown and the Texas Longhorns will claim the trophy in the Holiday Bowl in this their 5th appearance here in San Diego, and they'll finish the season at 8-5, while Cal, after a good finish to the regular season, will go into the offseason with a 7-6 record. As we go down to the field, as you look at Keenan Allen, find Jen Brown. Jen?
Thanks, Reese. Coach David Ash really took control of this offense tonight. What did you think of his play?
I thought David did really well. Our entire offense settled down late in the second quarter because it was a pretty ugly first half offensively with both teams, but really proud of the offense. We ran the ball a little bit better. Thought the adjustments both sides were really, really good at halftime. We beat a good Cal team tonight.
Defense forced a lot of turnovers tonight. What did you think of their play, and what does that mean for this team moving forward?
When you go back and force turnovers, we forced 2 or more, and we've had 2 or less. We haven't lost a game all year. So it was about turnovers tonight. It was about our composure. It was about continuing to fight. And it's really good for us to be with 8 wins, send these seniors off in the right way, and head to spring practice.
All right, thanks. Congratulations, Coach.
Thanks,
Reese,
Jen.
back to you.
All right, Jen, so Texas coming up with the victory, 21-10 against Cal to go into the offseason with a good taste in their mouth. Sports Center is coming up next. Our final score from the Bridgepoint Education Holiday Bowl, Texas 21, California 10. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For Jesse Palmer, Jen Brown, and our entire ESPN crew, it's been a great season for us in the Thursday night crew. Thanks for watching. Capital One Bowl Week will roll on, but Sports Center is coming your way right now. I'm Reese Davis. Good night, everybody.